What do you use to remind yourself that everything isn't that bad? I can die later. The world is going to kill me whether I like it or not. So why not stick around for a few more decades and see what happens? In some ways it's comforting to know I don't have to do this forever and I don't have to kill myself. Curiosity and things to look forward to. Even TV shows, games, movies, or visits from relatives. I always pick something to look forward to. I think about the fact that all things considered I'm reasonably healthy and there's no warrant out for my arrest. I had a stroke a couple of weeks ago, only 27 and no health explanation for the event, and while I was in the hospital walking down the hall with my good old buddy Winston, what I named my 4-drip machine pumping me with blood thinner, an older gentleman across the hall saw me and told his nurse I was far too young to be in the ICU. He had a little plastic pumpkin for Halloween and not much else, so he asked the nurse to give it to me. I never found out which patient gave me that pumpkin, but since the stroke, whenever things get stressful I look at it, now sitting on my desk at work, and remember that everything is okay. I plan on keeping my little plastic stroke pumpkin for the rest of my life, however long or short it may be. I text a friend and see if they want to have dinner. We plan something and cook it with a good drink. Then another. Repeat as necessary. Life feels pretty good after a few drinks and dinner with friends. Also, I get to try out a lot of new recipes. My cat pretty much instinctively knows when I'm down. He gets very cuddly and won't leave my side if I'm upset. My fiance always says that he must be a loved one reincarnated. That despite the fact I suffer kidney failure and I'm on dialysis 3 days a week, I remind myself that I'm at least still alive and can still be with my family. Many other serious illnesses don't give that luxury. Would like to point out I'm from UK for those who have asked. Scotland to be more specific. I'm not homeless anymore. My chronic illness is in remission. So I can feed myself and even work outside the house. Life is good. We're only here for a minute. Enjoy it. I laugh at myself for being a big ol' eeyore. My love for deer on the side of the road. The ones that are alive. It reminds me the innocence of nature and makes me feel warm and alive. I'm still getting notifications about it. Thank you so much to whoever is trolling me, but it's appreciated, not deserved but appreciated. I can't believe the response this has received. I couldn't imagine this. You are all breathtaking, as a wise man once said. I'm sorry I can't respond to you all. That I'm still breathing. After 2 suicide attempts, I haven't had a negative thought like that in a long ducking time. A year to be exact. I haven't had a drink in a few weeks, and yet I'm starting back at a job that I lost a few years ago. Surprised that they are giving me another shot. Also, it's winter, but it's been so beautiful the last week. And when my husband gets off work, we're gonna go down to the water and just kick it. My youngest daughter Emma, she is 1.5 years old and just knows how to enjoy every second of life. She wakes with a smile and goes to bed grinning while holding her Winnie the Pooh. She falls while walking and just dusts herself off and keeps going. Every time she hears a motorcycle she says, "Oh," and then vroom vroom, while signing motorcycle. That I am not part of all the horror that is going on in the world. I am not part of all the by their parents abused teenagers. I am not living in an area where there is war, hunger and no education. I have the extreme benefit of living in a good neighborhood, without any criminal activity. In general, I just compare myself to all the people in my age who have it way worse. Then I realize how lucky I am. How good everything really is. Remembering that statistically speaking, we live in the most peaceful and prosperous time in history. Average lifespan is the longest it's ever been. And the world is slowly yet constantly getting better for everyone regardless of situation. It may not always look that way, but on average it is true. I look at my adult kids. They are happy, successful adults. Makes me feel satisfied that I did a good job as mom. My mom, she died from cancer at the age of 48 while my sister was addicted to heroin. My dad was cheating on her and was going through bankruptcy. Regardless, she still showed people so much kindness and was a fantastic woman who was always smiling. I have depression and my life isn't so great right now, but I always tell myself that it can get better and that if my mom could live day to day with a smile on her face, so can I, and I feel more people going through a terrible time can really use an example like her to at least give them a little push in the right direction. I have a very long list of things that give me a certain feeling. Like appreciative nostalgia almost, but not quite. A few things from it are: air conditioning in hotels, trains, lucky numbers, being introduced to something new by someone you love, mixes labeled with themes like rain, for sleeping, for driving, when the lights dim before previews in the movies. I think of the soldiers in the trenches in WWI. It puts things in perspective on when I'm getting up early for a stressful day in the office. I got a 4-year-old that thinks I'm the coolest dad ever. I feel like breaking down all the time. But I couldn't do that to him. I'm his rock. But really, he's mine. It's more of a mindset or perspective than anything else. If I'm having a bad day, I try to focus on the good things. It sounds very cliche to type it out, but just thinking of the millions of people that have it worse. Some of them suffering death-threatening diseases or difficulties like being blind or crippled. And that despite that, some of them are even happier than I am in the moment. It takes away some of the steam I could be having. I'm also Christian and believe there's a greater purpose/reason for stuff. It does help me. Dogs. Puppy videos. Reunion puppy videos. Senior puppy tippy tap videos. Derpy puppy videos always gets a good smile. I'm alive. Happily married and have 2 beautiful, healthy children. It could be so much worse. 2 years ago, I tried to take my life. For a couple of months after it happened, I kept thinking I should have died. I shouldn't be here. I don't know what to do. I realized my anxiety was so severe I was one panic attack away from attempting again. I realized while I'm here I had to try to get better. So I tried. I'm still trying. It's the hardest yet best thing I've ever done. What makes me realize it's not all that bad is those little moments in the last 2 years that made me think I'm glad to have been alive for this. It's always small silly things. A friend buys me a chocolate bar I love, or I play a game I really enjoyed, but it's honestly worth surviving all the personal hell I've been through to experience it. That's the moments that make me feel that it's not all so bad. You know what I do when I have a really bad, awful, terrible day? I imagine my great-great-great-granddaughter in the future talking to her class about me. She's poised and funny and tells people about me and how everything worked out in the end. And when I think about that, I think about how everything's going to work out. Because how else could she tell people? I think of how insignificant I am. Not trying to be edgy, it works for me. Like thinking of how small I am in the world and my problems aren't that bad and they'll pass. As long as I keep on pushing, it gets easier. Then Roger Stone was convicted today. And there was that crying billionaire. That I have a safe, comfortable home. A wife I love that loves me back, and 2 great dogs that think I'm a god. I volunteered in a Balinese orphanage while in college. Those kids had nothing. No family. No means. Yet always had the biggest smile. I always think of them. I have anxiety/depression issues. I tend to get myself very worked up. And go from 0 to oh my god, it's the apocalypse in 3.7 seconds. Lately, I find it's helpful to stop, breathe, and take inventory. I have a stable, good paying job. Husband has a good paying, stable job. My kids are healthy and happy. All of our basic needs are being met. Sort of like, get back to the basics, and think about the things I can control today. No, those things are not guaranteed to be true tomorrow or next week or in a decade. But today they are true. And it's okay. Honestly, nothing. Everything is really shitty. I grew up in a country that didn't prepare me for my future life. With parents that didn't support my passions and left me nothing. My dad is dead. Left nothing. My mom won't assist with anything and offers little to no emotional support. So I'm in a dead-end career I don't enjoy. Because I had to choose at 18 the future of my life. And I wasn't informed by anyone on how important it really was. Then everything else is a mess. Been ducked over by cops. People at work. I've never felt like anyone was on my side. Just feels like everyone on this planet is an enemy. Only thing that keeps me going is my love for music and my hope I can become a music producer or somehow start my own business. I always think about how I could have been born into bad circumstances. In my life I'm able to make my own choices. I have the freedom to do as I please. I'm able to have a job to provide for myself and thankfully I have my health. So no matter what I go through, I think about how some people are put into situations they weren't able to control and unfortunately just aren't capable of picking themselves up or simply don't have the support of friends or family. That always helps me keep my head held high and continue. I look at it like this. I have clean dry clothes and a roof over my head with people who care. Everything else will pan out and turn better with time. But for now everything is alright. Long rant ahead. This just recently happened. I'm a healthcare security officer and see my fair share of awful. There was a woman I had to rush into the ER a few days back. Her husband comes running into the lobby where I was. Eyes just full of raw animal panic. Says his wife needs help. It was a miscarriage. An ugly one. A literal trail of heavy blood from the parking garage into the ER lobby. I was pretty shook. Had to call environmental services to come clean it all up. The entire floor looked like a red and white watercolor for a good 30 minutes. I'm sitting there at the ER desk still messed up about it. Feeling more and more depressed. The woman was rushed to surgery. Baby didn't make it. Then I hear this laugher. I look up and see these parents with their beautiful little daughter skipping between them down that same path that just an hour ago was all blood. A long story short, seeing that juxtaposition, it sort of helped. Yes, there's so much awful, but give it an hour. Hell, sometimes a minute and here comes beauty. Innocence. Just skipping along. It really changed my perspective. When I'm feeling down, I usually talk to other people and ask for their problems. It distracts me of mine and I get to help others.